Hey guys, so good afternoon. Welcome back to another edition of the podcast. I've been loving this webinar type format. It's been interesting. As you all know, I've been mixing it up from podcast to vlog type content to just purely technicals. And right now, I've been enjoying doing the webinar type of format. So, in this video, I've been getting so much questions from all of you asking what's a better stock, what should you buy, should you go for Dito, should you go for Chelsea. So we're gonna do some sort of a comparison, a bit of a deep dive comparing Dito and Chelsea, but I'm gonna share more about it later. You can't really make a direct comparison because they're different businesses, but hopefully I get to show you numbers, hopefully I get to give you context as well. But by all means, no, feel free to analyze it on your own because that's the most important thing in everything. So if you guys are ready, you guys are excited, comment I'm excited, comment I want more of this. So for today's podcast slash webinar, this is what I want to present and talk to all of you about. Number one, the current closing price, the stock price of the stock of Chelsea and Dito. That will be very very quick lang. Number two, I want to talk about their business models just to also show you that literally they're different companies. They both might be owned by Dennis Uy. They might have been attached to the third telco story play, but it does not mean that they're the same. Then number three, I want to talk about their income. Then number four, I want to talk about their PE ratio. Number five, I want to talk about their cash. Number six, number six, I want to talk about their debt. Number seven, I want to talk about today's brokerage buying. Number eight, I want to talk about also foreign buying, just only for today. The number nine, everyone's favorite, what ano hinihintay ng madaming tao, technical analysis. And as you all know, I'm also a fan of technical analysis, but I do believe it's nice knowing everything, the company, the news, the fundamentals, marrying them in between and creating a strategy that fits you. And as what I always say, in spite of us talking about all of this, please never ever do not buy, sell, hold, or avoid a stock just because it's discussed in YouTube. Please, I implore you, take the time to study because it's your money, it's your responsibility. It does not matter if it's talked about in every TV station in the country or in the planet. Never buy just because it's talked about. You have to have a significant reason why you are buying it, and you also have a significant reason if you want to hold on to it, you want to avoid it, or later on you want to sell it, whether it be taking profits or cut loss. Please remember that that's so important. You do not rely on other people. That's the worst thing that you could ever do. If you do that, you know what's going to happen. There's a possibility that you will earn, but there's also a possibility that you will lose. At the end of it all, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20 years later, you did not build any skill at all. And the stock market investing is all about skill. That's why I honor everyone listening to this channel, because this channel is all about doing the hard things. This is not about, oh, eto na lang yung bibiliin mo. It's not about that. This is all about ano yung kailangan mong matutunan para ma-build yung skill for you to be able to grow and to be able to learn and to be able to win in the markets. So please also note that, as what I've mentioned at the start, they're different companies. It's not an apples to apples comparison because they're not even in the same sector, they're not in the same industry, their revenue models are different. And please do note also, I'll say this already at the start right now, Dito was primarily ISM. They just shifted and changed the name, but essentially kung ano yung negosyo ng ISM before, yun din siya literally ngayon. So I hope you get that, and I hope that this is something that's helping you. By the way, as what I've said also, and I've been consistent with this, just keep on sending your Instagram DMs or your Patreon messages or your YouTube community messages as well, because that's what I'm using to answer. That's what I'm building off the content from. So for this video, I'm answering a question that was sent out by Allen Reforma. Hi, sir. I've started trading stocks in the Philippines around a week or two ago, and I've found your videos in YouTube very helpful. Thank you so much, Allen Forma. Recently, with news about Dito and C has been on a downtrend. Can I ask for your advice on C? And now, pati now? Or you're asking now since? Feeling ko hindi now yan. Can you asking for your advice on C? And baka now then, since I only have a small capital and I don't know what to do anymore. Thank you, sir. I happen to have C at 5:45 and 4. Okay. But ganun, now pala, pero ginawa ko, sige, Allen, sorry, I did not read the question very well. Tsaka hindi ko nabasa yung merong, yung now, no? I did not read that. But for this video, I'm gonna answer dito and C. I'm sorry about that. Pero yun yung nagawa ko, yun yung na-prepare ko na. But I hope makatulong, and I hope that sa inyo rin na gusto matuto nito, I hope that this helps you as well. And the reason why I keep answering questions of people is I have a feeling that kung si Allen tinatanong to, madami rin sa inyo yun din yung gusto malaman. And yun lang, that's the whole goal of this, is I want to give you as much content, and I want to give you guys as much value as possible. So closing price for today, this is how it went. Dito up 6.11 pesos per share. Chelsea up 5.20 pesos per share. Please do note the context of when the message was sent. It was sent when they were down. Today, actually, Dito intraday, no, it was also down. And Dito was down intraday today. Then suddenly, at some portions within the trading day, it started to push up. Then it started to end up in the green. The same also for Chelsea. So, as you all know, there's been a lot of news between Dito and Chelsea. I posted a video on that. I think it's 2 videos prior to this. Balikan nyo na lang dun. A lot of people have been asking between the difference between Dito, who actually owns Dito, especially Dito Telecom, and what did Chelsea do in terms of their transactions towards it or towards the company. I detailed it there, so you can just check it out there. But for this video, I just want to do a deep dive, or at least a comparison on it. And if there's anything that I may have missed, or if you want me to look at other parameters also for Dito and Chelsea, just put them in the comment section. Then if it's amazing, it's good, and I know it will benefit a lot of people, we're gonna do videos on top of that too. All right, so let's go. So the businessman of both, for those who don't know, the main difference of them is Dito CME is basically a holding company, which is highly connected to telecoms, multimedia, and information. So most likely for Dennis Uy, this is where he's gonna put all of his other businesses that will be either in the future or current ones that are connected to this. So it could hold companies that are under telecom, multimedia, or IT. So multimedia, that's a very, very broad sphere also. So it will be, I don't know what context to put it into, no, but it's branded as a holding company that encompasses not just telecommunications. So if you look at it from that perspective, Dito Telecommunity is mainly just telecoms. Okay, so just that. Anyways, Chelsea Logistics and Infrastructure Holdings Corporation engaged. By the way, when Chelsea went into an IPO, it was just merely at that time a logistics company. It wasn't yet a holding infrastructure and holding corporation. So at the time they did the IPO, I think it was 2016 or 2017. It was just purely logistics. All right, so please take note of that. Then they just added Infrastructure Holdings Corp a few years after that. So Chelsea is engaging in shipping, logistics, and services, which primarily is its main business. And as what I've mentioned also yesterday, because of the move that they made, it allowed them primarily directly to just focus on and specifically be in logistics. So it operates through the following segments: tankering, tugboats, roll-on, roll-offs, passenger shipping, distribution, warehousing, ship management, crew services, and investing and other activities. So yung last part na yun, yung investing and other activities, I think no, that's where the ownership previously of Dito Telecom was. Please do note that in the previous video, I noted that Dito Telecommunity was owned by China Telecom, Dito Udenna, and also Chelsea. So Chelsea sold it, but part of its business, ayun, either investing or other activities siya pumapasok. So if you just compare it, it's a very, very different already. Dito CME is primarily focused on telecom, multimedia, and IT. Chelsea is basically logistics, shipping altogether. So dun pa lang, very, very different already. Yung business model, different na rin yung tinatap nila. But let's continue. If you're learning, comment below. Comment, I want more of this. Comment, I want a deeper dive. And if you like this, appreciate it if you could smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It means a lot to me. Now, I want to show you the yearly income. This one naman, it's all disclosed information. You can check it. And since this is looking at the yearly income, please do note that just a couple of months ago, Dito was ISM. So the figures that you will have here is primarily ISM, especially from a yearly perspective. So to the upper half is Dito. The lower half is Chelsea. So as you can see right here, from a yearly perspective, Dito slash ISM 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 lost money. Uh, yung sa dito nga lang, the past 2 years, 2018, 2019, the losses started to taper down. For Chelsea though, 2015 made money, 2016 made money, 2017 made money, 2018 lost money, 2019 lost money also. So between both of them, if you at least put context to it, both of them lost money on an annual perspective for the past at least past 2 years. For Dito CME, which was ISM also, for the past 5 years, the only time I think it made money was 2016 and 2018. Tama ba? Medyo mali yung line. I'll check into more details with that for you guys as well. So yun, mas malaki nga lang yung losses ng Chelsea last year head-to-head versus Dito or ISM. Anyways, let's continue. I wanted to also give you at least a snapshot of its quarterly income. So as you all know that we're already in the fourth quarter of the year. So for sure, their first quarter and second quarter earnings are already disclosed. So at least you also have a snapshot of how it may look for the companies at the end of the year. So for their quarterly income, as you can see here, for Dito, June 2019 and December 2019, they lost money. But for March and June 2020, they slightly made money, which I made a video off of it. I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. I think this income was brought about by interest income, if I got it correctly or if I remember it correctly. Whereas also for Chelsea, even for this year, sunod-sunod, September 2019, December 2019, March 2020, June 2020, they've lost money. So I'm just saying this from the numbers from a fundamental perspective. Dito, CME, made money off of, if I remembered properly, I think it was interest income. Then Chelsea, for the past 4 quarters, they have lost money. Now, because Chelsea has lost money, you can't really use the PE ratio formula on that. But Dito, you can have a semblance also of what its PE is based on the past price or the current price, and then using the earnings per share that we currently have here. So the PE ratio of Dito right now is at 241.5. So which is in whatever benchmark you're using, 241.5 is still a very, very high PE ratio. And given that its earnings really right now is not, we haven't really seen the full potential of what its telecommunications arm is, what its multimedia arm is, and what its IT arm is as well. So primarily as of the trailing 12 months, it looks that it's not really at the cheaper portion. So there. Anyways, let's continue. In terms of its cash and debt, this is how it looks like. So it's been pretty steady, no, for the past quarters for Dito CME. It's been flat, not really increasing, not really dropping. In the same way, almost the same. Also, their balance sheet, the cash, or in terms of assets for for Chelsea, it's literally almost the same. I just wanted to point this out that if you see on the left side, total assets is 4 billion. Nakalagay sa June 2020 na column. Cash and short-term investments is around 4.06 for Dito. I want to point out lang for Dito is they don't have any debt. For Chelsea, their debt is quite big at 17.43 billion. So I'm going to show you in proportion to its debt and equity ratio. But for those who read the books, also read my books or attended the sessions, that I would always mention, of course, kung walang utang yung company, hindi sila mag-bankrupt kasi wala naman silang kailangan bayaran. And majority of the companies, they would close down because they would file for bankruptcy because they cannot take on or at least pay off their debts anymore. So for Dito CME, as of now, they don't have any problem with that. For Chelsea, I'd like to show you, and we can do a deeper dive on this if you'd like more of it. Just put it in the comment section what questions you have. But I want to show you in proportion to its debt to equity ratio. This is primarily for Chelsea because they have debt. So their total debt to equity is around 132. So what I would always tell people is that the further it is upward of 100, it shows you that it's relatively more leveraged in terms of their long-term debt to equity ratio. At least that one is below 100. That means they also have I think sizable short-term debt. So by long-term debt to short-term debt, that's your total debt. That's your total debt. So total debt to equity ratio is relatively sizable. But if you remove short-term debt, it falls back below the 100 benchmark that I would normally put in. So please to take note of that. But again, I'll say this over and over: do not just buy, sell, avoid stock just because we talk about it here. My suggestion while I'm doing this, please do take down notes and please do research. Please do your own due diligence. Please study this. Please research. Right after this, please validate. Please search whatever information sources that you have, because I'll never stop saying this, that the greatest impact that you will have on your portfolio, on your finances, on your money is basically the amount of attention, the amount of research, and the amount of time you also deploy into it. So I hope that this gives you information, but I really do hope that this pushes you to study even more. So these are the broker transactions for the day. This is for Chelsea. I just like to mention this, that majority still of, at least, no, that if you look at the buyers, majority of the brokerages that are buying are mostly locals. So it's mostly a local play. And if you've been also watching some of the other videos that I've created in this, you will see that's the right side, some percentages of foreign value, turnover, for foreign volume. You would see it's heavy. So for this one, it's primarily locals who bought it for today. In the same way, if you allow me to flip it, in the sellers also, you'll see majority of them local brokers also. So it's also locals selling the stock. So it's mostly still what brought it up: local transactions, buying and selling. For today, I just want to point this out also. Foreign buying is 1.1 million. Foreign selling is 1.6 million. It just shows you that it's not really touched by foreigners, at least for the day. Net foreign transactions for this, they were sellers at 547,000 pesos, while for Dito, if you notice it here, buyers same din. Most majority of the brokerages are locals, if you look at it very well. You have for BPI though bits and pieces of foreign transactions, but very minimal. And please remember, the value turnover was 60 million for BPI. 7% of that is less than, I think, 4 million pesos, more or less. For the sellers naman, same thing. Majority of the transactions are still locals, with at least local brokers with bits and pieces of foreign transactions attached to it. In terms of net foreign buying selling, similar to what we've been seeing to other stocks in the Philippines. For today, Dito had net foreign buying, but I just like to point this out also. It's not so high. Foreign buying is around 13 million. Foreigners transacted around 28 million pesos. For Dito, sold around 14. So if you're asking me if this is net foreign buying, so yeah, net foreign buying. It's the transactions here is much better though, relatively comparing it to Chelsea as a whole. But primarily, no, if you stretch it out and you try to analyze also Dito, majority that I've seen, it's mostly been local transactions. It's not like what you've been seeing lately for Jollibee. It's not what you've been like seeing for Ayala Land and other stocks that we have been analyzing here in this channel. Comment below if you're learning. Comment if this is something that's helping you, because we are right now on everyone's favorite part: stock charts, technical analysis. Comment if you're staying. Comment if you're still here, by the way. So this is coming out around 6 p.m. Hopefully, we have 2 more videos coming out, but for sure, 8 p.m., Bo Sanchez in my main channel. We have a 3-part episode podcast series with him where he doubles down, shares his experience, how he built his wealth. And if I have time and if you have questions, hopefully we get to do another video around 10 p.m. later. Or if I play StarCraft, baka wala nang videos. If you play StarCraft, comment below. StarCraft 2, we could all play with each other, or at least fight each other there. Asia server, hanapin niya. We can play. Masaya siya. Anyways, so this is the chart of Dito. As you can see here, I posted videos on it that there was a certain support level. And that support level yesterday, if you look at the red candle, the stock was sitting at the support from yesterday. Today, intraday, it opened lower already than the support. It was so interesting. when I kept on logging, it opened lower than the support. So essentially, technical analysis, textbook terms, break down. Comment below, break down, break down. Anyways, as it started to open lower than the support, intraday also, boom, it dipped below 5. And then it goes back to what I said earlier. At some point within the day, suddenly you saw buying, and that buying was strong enough to erase bits of the losses. Then it was strong enough also to erase all of the losses. And it was strong enough also to break past the support or the resistance, which is now back again to the support. And then right here, right now, it not just pushed above the support line, it was higher pa, putting it and closing it at a much higher price. So that being said, it goes back to revisit the older videos. This is still the current support and resistance range right now. That if it stays above this 5.8 support level, resistance now is still pegged at the 7 peso level. Comment below if you're learning, comment if this is something that's helping you. And if you're noticing it, the progression of Chelsea is almost the same. The only difference lang is yesterday, the closing price of Chelsea opened higher, but closing price, boom, closed down, closed lower, large red candle, and it was strong enough to break the support. Break the support. As it broke the support, as you can see also the candle for today, it opened below the support again. Very, very clear here. You look at the last candle's right side. It opened below the support. Intraday, boom, dropped again. But similar to Dito CME, little by little, it started to erase the losses. Little by little, suddenly it broke even. Little by little, it started to go up, but not just go up, it was strong enough to break the resistance. And suddenly, it's now back up again using that old price range, which was a resistance. It's now back to the support level. So if it stays above this, similar to Dito, no, if it stays above this support levels that we are using, then it makes sense that, hey, it may move again in its current consolidatory range. Please do note that volumes were massive, especially for Dito. It was one of the top value turnovers again for the day. I don't have my figures with me, but I think it was above a billion again, which makes it so interesting. So both of them yesterday, Chelsea broke down yesterday. Dito dropped but held its level at the support, but both of them today dropped below the support, broke down essentially in intraday level. That's why for those who have been following my technical analysis posts also, you do know that pag intraday, mapapakat ka if you just base it on the intraday, because there will be portions also within the day that may chance siya na bumalik. And that's the example that we had here. It dropped below the support intraday, but suddenly also during the same trading day, it went up and went above the support. So that's what makes it interesting. And that's why I love looking at closing prices. If you're asking me for what my style is, I really like looking at closing prices because the closing price tells me a lot in terms of what the sentiment is towards how people analyze a stock. So there, just to recap, this is what we talked about: the stock price. They're all up to date. They have divergent business models. Their income, they've lost money the past few years. Dito CME made money for the past 2 quarters. Chelsea lost money. The PE ratio of Dito is relatively high. I talked about the cash, the debt, broker buying, foreign buying, and also we talked about the charts. So there, I hope you guys learned a lot. Comment below if you stayed up until this is the 23-minute mark. Comment if I stayed up until the 23-minute mark, and then comment below if you learned. Comment if this is something that's helping you. Comment if this is something that's adding value to you. In the links below, we have a lot of the things that you would want to know. Fundamentals, technicals, all of my other videos from my other channels. If you want to learn from the books, it's also there. We have a Patreon community. We have a YouTube community. Links are in the description. We also have books to help you learn more about the markets. And I guess that's it. Abangan nyo na lang 8 p.m. podcast with Bo Sanchez. And I hope that that gives you massive value and content. And as what I've been doing, mga pabate, since sobrang dami nung yesterday, no, hindi ko nalagay lahat. But siguro I'm gonna do this na lang. The first few people who gets to send their messages, yun yung mababati ko, or at least mafa-flash ko. I don't know if this is something that I will employ regularly or if this is something that I will do on a regular basis to show the screenshots to all of you. But I just wanted to honor you also because you are part of this channel. The difference between YouTube and TV is masaya eh. We get to build a community of people with the right heart, with the right mind, thinking the same things. And I do hope that what I share to you imparts the right values, imparts the right knowledge that brings you closer to whatever your dreams are, that you get to use the stock market as an asset class for you. So maybe Hiten Gaming, Israel, ISM, Jericho, Hayo, Hirosho, Ozokumi, Louis Cesar, who's a regular. So yung regular dito naalala ko, si Hiten Gaming, si Israel, tsaka si Louis Cesar, Ivan Carpio, Jen Canlas, regular din si G Canlas, sorry, El Bayahedor, Gogo Healthy Life, Ronald Evangelista, Bagyo Gaming, Patrick Miguel, also a regular, Je Orlisas, also a regular, Karen Obedosa, Joan Mercado, Lee Marvin Valencia, Mariam Buenaventura, Rica Casebuan, Miss A, who's also a regular, Twins, Avia and Brayley, nako natakpan, I'm sorry. Alam mo naman yung icon mo kung sino ka man. Arnel, Armorian, Ian Ascaris, who's been a regular also a bit on the past few videos. Herbert Bilog, Ria Kayabyab, Handu TV, Cheerleader, Lilibet Kailan, Assassination Gaming, medyo regular siya. Arlex Daito, Brave Miro, Rem Abalos, Raul Salomon, Jenny B. Nicole, Miminang, Jonathan Benedicto. I hope you guys are learning from this and I hope that malaki tong natulong sa inyo, but put your questions in the comment section. I'm gonna try to make videos and content for all of you. One goal, one heart, one mind, just to give you value because I want you guys to win. Filipinos deserve the best. Filipinos deserve a lot. And I want to leave this channel as something that will inspire generations to reach their goals of financial freedom. 2 channels. This is my first channel at Marvin Gurmo. This is my second channel, Stock Investing Made Easy. If you got value from this, appreciate it. If you could smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and if you could subscribe if you want valuable content like this, stock market related content. And by the way, birthday ng brother ko, you can go to his channel, parang awan nyo na Neil Gurmo, hindi pa siya married, so wala siyang wife na magbabati sa kanya ng happy birthday. Go to his channel, Neil Gurmo, batiin niyo siya, then subscribe na rin if you guys want to. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys got a lot from this, and this is Marvin Gurmo. Happy Friday, everyone. Stay tuned for more videos today and throughout the weekend. And I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.